This is the rainbow gun, and don't worry, I'm not gonna make a gay joke, it's not June yet. It's a weapon you get from a biome chest, and if you don't know what those are, I envy you. Out of all the biome chest weapons, this is pretty widely considered to be the worst one, and honestly, I'm not too sure why. But we'll get to that later. First, I'm gonna show you how to get it. For all the biome chest weapons, you have to do the worst thing this game has ever implemented, grinding. After killing Plantera, you can go to any of these biomes and kill enemies for a random chance to get a key for a chest in the dungeon. These are the biome keys. The issue is their drop rate. They have a 0.04% chance to drop from any enemies in these biomes. If it happens to drop in the desert, you get the desert key. If it happens to drop in the corruption, you get the corruption key. If it happens to drop in the hollow, you get the hollowed key, which is the one you're gonna need for this. So after you grind for what's likely to be an incredibly long time, you can head over to the dungeon, where you're gonna have to scour around for a bit to find your chest, specifically the hollowed chest. As long as you have the hollowed key in your inventory, you can open up this chest, and inside it is guaranteed to be the rainbow gun. And this completely natural gun fires a rainbow. Hard to believe, I know. I believe the rainbow fires in a similar path to a standard arrow, but I'm not fully sure. It'll stop when it makes contact with a solid block, and it does constant damage to any enemies inside of the rainbow. Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Okay, I think I'm good. Anyways, as you can imagine, this looks pretty good for groups of enemies. It can hit a lot of enemies at once and actually does a bit of knockback, which means that for faster mobs, you can hold them back with the rainbow. Now, if you want to look at its range, firing straight down, you're gonna get around 45 blocks, which really isn't that far. But it can go a lot farther depending on how you fire it. If you fire it at a long enough arc, it can go all the way off your screen. If you fire it straight up, it'll go all the way up and back down. It really depends on how you want to set it up, but ironically, firing straight is probably your best option. Damn it. But because big numbers are fun to look at, what can you do to higher the damage on this? Obviously, you're going to want a lot of magic and damage increasing accessories, armor, and all that, but personally, I just went with the route of making a dummy rainbow, which with spectral armor, got it up to 11,000 damage. That is just fucking insane, but you've probably already noticed its shortcomings, though. That is that you're not really going to be able to fight a solo boss with this. It's so designed to fight groups and hordes of enemies that there's no reason to go up against someone like Golem with this thing. It just doesn't work out. But to test it, you can obviously just go and fight an event, like the Pumpkin Moon. So I summoned the Pumpkin Moon and started fighting without any arena or anything set up, and I gotta say, this was extremely helpful. In early stages, it allowed me to focus on one side while letting the other one get destroyed by the rainbow. And in later stages with the pumpkin, I was able to fly around with that while the rainbow was chilling on the ground, still killing enemies as we went. It was genuinely beneficial and very helpful to use, and even at times if I needed to chill for a second and just cool down, I could hop in the middle of a rainbow. I fired straight across and I wouldn't have to deal with anything because enemies would be slowing down as they came in. Remember the knockback from earlier? That was very helpful for something like this. Obviously, it's not big for anything like the Morning Wood or the Pumpkin. You're never gonna fight a single boss with it, and these are mini bosses that don't take much knockback. But the best thing is that this is background DPS. You don't have to put any attention into it. The most you really have to do is reshoot a rainbow every 40 seconds. By all means, it's not a primary weapon, but it's not a bad addition to your hotbar at all. Honestly, it's a pretty good one for the mage class. I'd go as far as to say it might be beneficial in the pillars, if nothing but to just do that extra bit of damage or hold back enemies for a split second so you can shoot your other weapons. I think that this is pretty helpful throughout most of your game. While the other biome chest weapons can do a lot of damage and even take up your primary weapon slot, I'd say this at least outdoes the Frost Hydra. So why is this weapon hated as much as it is? Is it because it's not a good primary weapon? Is it because you have to use it in very specific situations? Is it because it's gay? I mean, maybe, I don't know. Hey, I hope you liked the video. As always, I don't make money off of them, so it'd be helpful if you could like, subscribe, and if you want to scream into the empty void, it's in the comments. So, I was working on a different video for a bit, but I was not going to be able to get it done in the way I'd want it to be done by today, so this one, I just kind of rushed out. I hope it was still good. I just focused on trying to make it a little more informative, but not too far. I don't know. That's also why it's a bit of a shorter one, and also why I'm recording this part on the same day I'm uploading it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm watching you. Bye.